Firstly, I'm not trying to bash cops with this video. My father works with law enforcement, so I intend to have an unbiased as possible reasoning behind this. Now, secondly, for those who do not believe that all cops are bad cops, hopefully I get to provide a clear picture as to why all cops are necessarily bad cops. They can be a great person. They can be a great mother, father, brother, sister. It does not matter. The moment they put that badge on, they necessarily become a bad cop. Why is that? Why is it that it's necessarily they become a bad cop? Well, there are conditions to being a cop that requires them to be bad. So what is one of these conditions? Well, they have to enforce the law. Now, that's supposed to be a good thing. However, for those who believe in the principles of self-ownership, we know that there are unjust laws that violate, restrict our right to self-ownership. So what are these offenses that we can commit? Well, there's a big category, and it's nonviolent victimless crimes. That in and of itself just sounds like an oxymoron. Now, what is a victimless crime? I'll give you a brief description. A crime where there is no apparent victim, no apparent pain or injury. This class of crime usually involves only consenting adults. The acts are not public, no one is harmed, and no one complains of the activities. Does that sound like anything anybody should ever be punished for? No. Now let me give you a list of some of the nonviolent victimless crimes you can commit. Using drugs. Now, unless they can tax it, like marijuana, using drugs is illegal. Now, this is not for us to have, this video is not for us to have a moral debate on whether or not, you should be able to do heroin and all that. The principle is that you should do whatever you want, when you want, with your own body, as long as you're not harming anybody else. So what are some other things? Not wearing a seatbelt. You can be punished for not wearing a seatbelt. Ridiculous, right? Also, you can be punished for having your windows tinted or too tinted. Gambling. You're not allowed to do what you want, when you want, however you want with your money. Also, you can't do what you want, when you want with your body, because prostitution, unless you're in the porn industry and they can tax it, yeah, you're not allowed to do anything with your body. So I can pay somebody to go out on a date with me, kiss me, massage me, probably massage me anywhere. I can pay them to cuddle with me, but the moment we have sex, that becomes illegal. Makes no sense, right? Now another one, which is absolutely ridiculous. It is a crime to attempt suicide. That is beyond anything I can describe. That is horrible. That is a crime. They will punish you for attempting suicide. You do not own yourself, according to the government, according to the police, those who enforce the law. You do not own yourself. Now, I read a statistic, and that is that this was about 4 years old. So go ahead and fact check me on this. I didn't really look into it that much, but if the statistic is true, 86% of the federal prison population is filled with people who committed nonviolent victimless crimes. That is absolutely absurd to me. Now, it should be absurd to you. So another thing to add on to this. So what makes, these unjust laws and their enforcement bad? Well, this also leads to another bad thing, and that is that it is a cop's job to harass, arrest, and or kill peaceful people. It is their job to do that. Now, it's not their only job. It's a part of their job, but nonetheless, it is their job to do this. Now, what could I mean? For example, a friend of mine, he told me that in a county near him, it is illegal to sit on a sidewalk. So I'm going to give you a brief example of this. And so let's just say I'm minding my own business. I'm sitting on a sidewalk, harming nobody, and a cop comes up to me and says, "Hey, you can't sit here. It's illegal to sit here." Well, I'm minding my own business. I'm not harming anybody. So I'm just want to do what I want to do. Now, you can say, why don't you just comply? I'll get to that later as to why we shouldn't comply. In fact, I'll have a whole separate video as to why we shouldn't comply. However, I'm sitting on a sidewalk and I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not bothering anybody. I want to sit on this sidewalk, so I'm going to do so. Well, they threaten to arrest me. Well, I don't want to be thrown into a cage for simply sitting on a sidewalk. So I resist. Well, since I resist the arrest, they have every right. It is in their job. It is what they are trained to do. They will kill you for sitting on a sidewalk. That doesn't sound right to me in any way, shape, or form, and I hardly believe that it'll sound right to any of you. It is a cop's job to harass, arrest, and or kill peaceful people. Now, they kill bad people too, but this isn't about that. This is the bad side to their job. This is the downside to it. Now, as for those saying, oh, you should comply. Well, it feels back in the day, should I comply to Jim Crow laws? No. We should never comply to the oppression. That is not what we should do. And that, like I said, that's a whole nother video as to why we shouldn't comply, at least to unjust laws. Now, secondly, so for people who, say, oh, it's their job, you can't blame them, it's their job. Well, that is precisely why we blame them. Let's take, for instance, Hitler. It was his job to kill Jews. However, we don't try to justify his actions by saying it was his job, do we? No, we do not. So we should have the same mentality towards cops. Now, that's all I really have to say for this video. I wanted to make this short and sweet. So for those who still disagree after watching this, and don't think that all cops are bad cops, I want you to list why in the comments. I'd love to see your viewpoint on this. Once again, I'm not trying to bash cops with this. If you do agree, I'd love for you to share this and get my message out. My name is Bradley Wolf. I'm supposed to have a lot more videos. I'm supposed to already have a shit ton of videos out. But regardless, this video was, if you believe in the principles of self-ownership, this was my objective view as to why, and just one view, as to why all cops, regardless of whether or not they're a good person, they are all bad cops. Thank you.